Good afternoon, Eric. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Fantastic. I wish I was a fly on the wall when you were putting this together. There is some enormous exploration going on in this, and I'll tell you, you take us for a trip.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, what I love about it is it reminds me so much of the days when we bought full albums and we would start it and all of a sudden we'd go to the end and go, no, do it again. I want to hear it again. And so with having both of them, it's like, this is nice.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad you like it. Thank you.
What was it like for you to be able to put, I mean, it all didn't come at you at one time. I mean, how did you bring it forward to put it in this presentation for now fans and as well as listeners?
Well, when the pandemic hit, I just came home and started trying to figure out what I was going to do. So I found all sorts of stuff that it was started, but nowhere near finished. So I just started like collating songs, and I kind of went through and tried to find the ones that seemed to have the most, meaning to put out, and the ones, and then try to, kind of sew it all together that would create a kind of continuity. And I found a lot of stuff, and then I found like over 30 things. Wow. And then I took a few of them out and just tried to create a thing. And I recorded some new songs as well, and added those to the stuff that hadn't been finished. And I just overdubbed and remixed, the old stuff.
Don't you love it, though, that when you save things for the future? I mean, I was even as a writer, I sit there and I'll go, dear future listener, dear future reader, because it's like that it's going to be used somewhere along the line. You just don't know when it's going to happen.
Exactly. And I didn't know whether they'd just be demos that I'd redo or if I'd actually use the demos or what. But, a lot of times when you do a demo, there's a certain spark or certain magic to it. You might not have the mics quite right, or there might be a couple of glitches in it or whatever. But sometimes it's worth just working with that because you have the energy on it. And I just decided to go with a lot of that on this record, and I kind of enjoyed doing that.
It's the perfect title for Soundtrack Life because right away you get into this mode of like going, yeah. When you say you've got a favorite soundtrack, this song has that vibe about it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Was it a moment of when you release something like this where it almost sounds like you spent a day outside and came in and said, I want to share with you the experience I just had, and it's going to come through the music?
Yeah, I think it was. When I wrote that song, it was kind of just like thinking over kind of an emotional kind of sound painting of just, your experiences in life and stuff.
Do you find yourself getting these songs ready to go on tour? Because I would love to see the song Another One Like You up on that stage. The way that you start off with the emotional touch to that.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, that's a song that Christopher Cross and I wrote together.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, he wrote the lyrics to that song.
Wow. It's just there's such a connection to it, and the way that you bring it together, it's like, well, now I understand it. With two people bringing it together like that, it's almost like an author and an illustrator coming together as one.
Yeah. I had the song, and I had a few of the lyrics, but I couldn't quite finish it, and so I just took it to Chris and said, hey, could you write lyrics for this? And he did. Yeah. That was kind of an interesting thing. And that song was one that was completely finished, except we had to mix it. But I didn't add, that was one of the very few that I didn't add anything to. I just mixed it.
Don't you love magic tricks like that, where it's like, oh boy, what else can I do?
Yeah, and sometimes when you go back and listen to stuff that you thought was like, yeah, it's okay, I don't know, and you go back and listen to it and go, well, actually, this is pretty good.
Do you go into the studio to do that, or is it something that you pick up on where you're driving on in the car and it's like, let me just take a listen to this, and then you go, whoa, I got a new vibe.
It can happen all sorts of different ways. As it was with that record a lot, I was just pulling stuff out of the tape closet, and I would just put it up and listen, and I just was looking for some kind of what I thought was magic that I could add to.
Yeah.
Or if it worked the way it was, I just left it.
So when you do that, when you bring something from the past up to where we are right now, because being a creative person, I know that I have to battle the perfectionist. I mean, do they stand at bay a little bit, that perfectionist side, and you're more open when it's aged a little?
Yeah, I had to be, because a lot of this stuff started on cassette tapes,
oh my God.
And unfinished analog stuff, and if I wasn't going to redo the whole thing, I had to go, well, I got to make peace with this and make it work. And it kind of is a matter of your perspective, you know. And once I did that, I went, you know, I don't mind that it's got little glitches or whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of warmed up to that, you know. Whereas I think originally I would have been more myopic and gone, oh, I got to redo it. But I don't think you always have to do that, you know.
Well, I've always wondered if that's the reason why the music from the 50s and 60s is still so vibrant in people's lives, because, you know, they didn't go in there seeking, you know, perfection. They went in there to get that song out.
Exactly. Yeah. And you get a certain vibe. And then when you get the best of both worlds, when you get a consummate, incredible musician, performer, recording artist, and they get it live in one or two takes, you have the best of both worlds. I mean, you listen like the old Sam Cooke stuff.
Yes.
And it doesn't get any better than that. There's no way you can get anything better than that. It's just incredible.
Yeah. You're going to be at the Booth Playhouse here in Charlotte on March 23rd. Have you played there before? Because that room has a sound to it that really brings everybody to the front row.
I don't think I have played that one before.
Man, it was built for sound, and so when there's something going on up there on that stage, I mean, the audience is just drawn into it.
Oh, okay, that's great. Good news. Looking forward to it.
When you go out on the road, do you have to when you do your sound checks and things, do you have to go in there and figure out where are you going to play? You know, to where you're not going to have too much of an echo coming out of the right hand corner, or you know, just to kind of get the feel and the vibration of that room.
Yeah, you kind of adjust the PA system to work in the room, and then sometimes you have to position your amps or your volume or whatever to accommodate the constituencies of the room you're playing.
The song "It's Just the Rain." There's an elegance in the balance of this song. With you know, it's almost like the vocals, and it has a duet partner. It's the guitar. It's like they're hand in hand, and they're singing back and forth to each other.
Yeah, kind of. That's true. Yeah.
That balance, though, doesn't just happen overnight. That has to be somebody who's sitting inside that studio going, let me try this. Let's tweak it just a little bit.
Yeah, you kind of got to get into the vibe of something, and then just pay respect to the vibe of what you're trying to create.
Yeah. Did you learn anything on this journey?
Yeah, it's kind of what you said. To just try to quit being so perfectionist, because when you do that, you're overanalyzing, you know.
So did you do most of it all at home then in the studio? Because I mean, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have a home studio. I love going in here and just creating.
Yeah, it was done. I have a studio that I've had in Austin for quite a while, and that's where I did all the work on this record.
Yeah. Man, Austin. You hear the name Austin, and right away you're going, well, of course, that's the music capital of the world.
Yeah, it really kind of is.
Well, I want to congratulate you on this music collection, because it really is a journey, and listeners need to, you know, I mean, you just listen to it on Spotify and every little outfit that, you know, that you have placed this music, because it's there and they need to love you and support you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
What's the website where they can start buying merchandise too? Because I know that's very important to musicians these days.
Well, it's ericjohnson.com. Yeah, you can get a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
Well, looking forward to seeing you on the 23rd of March, dude, at the Booth Playhouse here in Charlotte.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Okay. Well, thank you. And I appreciate you doing this.
You bet. Thank you, sir.
Okay.